So, of course, the big news is that Israel is under attack. Israel has declared war after an unprovoked attack that fired some 2,000 to 5,000 missiles from the Gaza Strip into Israel, and that, done by Hamas, the terrorist organization, and also there's another terrorist organization, that's Hamas, and there's another one that I forget the name of right off the top of my head, but so far they estimate in Israel there's 600 dead and 100 captured, and it's just horrible. They came in, it was a surprise attack. They caught Israel way off guard, which shouldn't have happened. But they came in even in gliders so they can get further into Israel. And evidently the Hamas soldiers were just indiscriminately shooting people, children, women, whatever. And because, of course, they see their purpose, Hamas's purpose, is to kill every Jew on the face of the earth. It isn't about getting land for the Palestinians. They could care less about the Palestinians. They're just using them like pawns in a game, a deadly game, just as Yasser Arafat did with the PLO. They're just expendable pawns. If Hamas knew if every Palestinian was killed, it would end Israel and destroy it, they would kill the Palestinians themselves. So it's really bad. Of course, Trump said last month, and I thought of it immediately too, is release $6 billion to Iran. There's going to be terrorist attacks. And yeah, there are. I just read something recently that some of the weapons they're using to kill civilians and everything are the ones that Biden left behind when he pulled out, of the Middle East. It's just horrible. We left so much high-tech equipment there. It's just a total mistake and botched job, ordered by Biden. Just horrible. And now, Israelis are paying the price for that, some of it. And it's just horrible. Unprovoked attack. And like I say, Palestinians are being used as pawns. Now, Hamas says they want to push the Israelis into the sea. The idea that the country's on a shore and they just want to kind of and dump it all in the ocean and destroy it. It's like, maybe that's what Israel should do to Gaza at this point. They can't let this happen again. This is the worst attack that they've had. And I think they're going to have to take a firm grip of Gaza. And even if they have to remove all the people and deport them, and it's odd because people will think, oh yeah, why aren't they in other Arab countries? No Arab country wants them. Egypt, that borders them, they don't want them there at all. They have security there. They even built a reservoir over an area where people would try to tunnel into Egypt. And so with this reservoir, what happens is you build a tunnel, and sooner or later it floods and collapses. So they don't want them. No one wants them because they're too valuable where they are. So many, billions of dollars have gone into that area, and they're still without some of the basic things they need. They're spending all this money on weaponry when they could be building schools and hospitals. I mean, it's just bizarre. And like I say, everybody's going to complain, I'm sure, over here. Like Biden. He's just, I don't know. He basically said he did a tweet that he later, deleted when his people saw it. They said, oh, you can't say that. Take that off. And he took it off. But basically, he called for Israel not to retaliate. And it's like, not to retaliate? Wait a second. We're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine so they can retaliate against Russia. So we're sending billions of dollars there. And so that is okay by Biden, right? But it isn't okay with Israel to retaliate. So it's just liberal Democrats hate Israel, they hate Jews. That's all there is to it. It's all veiled and disguised unless you happen to be on the squad in Congress, and they'll openly talk about how anti-Semitic they are. It's sad that the American Congress would ever sanction and put up with people that are anti-Semitic, but they do. So anyway, it's just a horrible situation. It could trigger World War III, I mean, but we'll have to see what happens. But the U.S. is last I heard, the U.S. is sending a naval destroyer closer to Israel to be able to help or whatever. But we'll see what happens. But I think Israel is going to have to do something decisive, because this, they just can't have this. And, it's odd too that, and of course, the liberals will say, oh, Israel attacked Hamas, the Palestinians. They won't say Hamas. It was a response to Hamas that, but it's that way. They change their language around all the time, and just so they can make it look like it's some kind of unprovoked attack by Israel rather than by Hamas. And it's just terribly, terribly sad and tragic. And like I say, I think Israel's going to have to do something that's going to be more long-term to get rid of this problem. I mean, it's like, can you imagine if all of a sudden Maine became terrorists and we were shooting missiles into Massachusetts? How long would that go on before the federal government would come in and clean up Maine? Well, that's what Israel has to do with the Gaza Strip. They have to just go in there and, if they have to remove every person, they should do it. I mean, they've got to have they have a right to have secure borders and not to have these indiscriminate attacks that kill civilians as much as non-civilians. And so Israel will do something, and it will probably be decisive. And a lot of the world won't like it, but it needs to be done. Bye.